Hello, 80s receiving students and teachers. Thank you. Take your seats. Okay, receiving students and model class, I will go through the summary points of our last lesson, and I'd like you to check your exercise books if you have copied the summary points in your exercise books. Okay. In our last lesson, we looked at an indicator. We used an indicator which was a hibiscus flower that was used as an indicator. We made a solution and tested for substances that contain base. And the first summary point, an indicator is a substance that changes color under different conditions. And the second one, class, let's read together. Very good. So those are the two summary points. We had some questions to answer, so we will go through those questions again. In our last lesson, there were 3 questions. The first one, we went through the answer. So as the second one, let's have a look at the third one, who's got an answer for us. To be sure that a solution is basic, you must observe a space in the color of an indicator. Rose?
To be sure that a solution is basic, you must observe a change in the color of an indicator.
Okay, hands up if you got change as the word in that space. Thank you. Hands down. That is the correct answer. Receiving students, make your correction, or you can give yourself a tick for those students with the correct word. All right. Class, any questions on that? We will now move on to our discussion question. Right, I'd like you in your groups, I'll be giving you 1 minute to discuss this question, and we will go through your answers after your discussion. You may begin. Okay, we should be cooperating and discussing that question. Okay, time up. Let's see. Group number 9. Receiving students, you can tell your teacher. Group 9, what did you come up with? Group 9 members, how do bases or alkalis benefit us? Or what good do they do to us? Any ideas? Lisa?
They help us in cleanliness of the house.
Very good. Give us an example of a base that you use to clean the house, or anything specific if you'd like to mention.
Detergents for washing the plates.
Very good. Any others? Ella?
They help to clean our clothes.
Good. Next person next to your group, Ella's group.
They help us clean our body, for example, by using shampoo or soap.
What do you others think? Do you agree with all those answers that we have? Any other bright ideas? One bright answer from anyone. How do bases or alkalis benefit us? Right? I'm sure you have some, since we are reluctant to give answers. Then receiving students, I hope you have the same answers as the model class. We will leave those answers as they are and move on to our activity for today. Now, we will have Estelle to go through the materials that we need for today's lesson. You are to carry out an activity, and that activity requires you to bring materials. What are the things in front of you? Estelle?
The materials are omo, knife, tea towel, water, bowl, half-cut container, and glass jar.
All right, thank you, Estelle. So receiving students, I hope you have some of those materials in front of you for today's lesson. We are to use those materials in our activity. Our topic for today's lesson, bases at work. We must always remember to follow safety rules when we are carrying out activities. As usual, we have rules number 1 to number 4. And there are some questions that I'd like you to copy into your exercise book, class. Questions will be shown to you. Receiving students, copy them down, and then we will move on to the day's activity. I will give you a minute to copy these questions into your exercise book. Get that coffee. Get the coffee. Yeah. Pour those things out. Coffee glass. No coffee cup. Pour it out and use it to wash. And that plate there, that bowl, bring that bowl too. You have many things to wash. All right, the questions that you should write down. Number 1, name of material used. In today's lesson, when you are carrying out the experiment or simple activity, write the names of the material used, the name of detergent that you are going to use, and the type of base found in that detergent. Let's go on to the next lot of questions. Question 4 and 5, please copy that down. Receiving students, a minute again for you to do that. right. I'm sure you have the two questions copied down. Question number 4 reads, discuss and describe your findings of washing items without detergents. Number 5, class, let's read number 5 together. Good. Now let's move on to the activity instructions. This is what you will be doing in today's lesson. First instruction number 1, you are to use only water to wash the dirty utensils and stained clothes. And number 2, you are to use different detergents to wash the same items. Number 3, instruction, you will answer questions and write a short summary based on washing items with and without detergents. Right? For those of us without materials, model class and the receiving students, you will use your experience, background knowledge on using detergents to wash things, and please answer those questions down. You may start now. Discuss in your groups and help each other to complete the questions. finished with your Okay, class, I hope you have all answered question number 1 all the way down to question number 5. Right? See your book. This is your next book. It should be. Right, we will now correct our activity that we have done for today's lesson. We will go back to the questions that you have copied down earlier on. Name of material used. For the receiving schools, if you did not come with your materials, then I'm sure you have watched the model class do their washing up, and you have also written your answers according to what you have watched. Now let's hear from a student in the class to tell us the type of material that they have used to wash the utensils and the stainy or dirty cloth. Okay. Let's hear from a student in the class. Rachel, you tell us the kind of materials that they have used and the name of the detergent that they have used on those different materials.
Omo, bleach, and clothes.
Right? Now tell me, you have given me the names of those detergents, but they have, what did that group use to use those detergents to wash the clothes? Wash those items. Can you use Omo to wash your dirty utensils? Yes, it's for families that do not afford to buy the proper washing detergents.
To remove the stain.
All right, good. Now you are giving me the use of it. Can someone please help her? We have the name of material used and the detergent that you have used to clean the materials. Michelle? Thank you, Rachel, for trying.
The type of materials that were used with those detergents were a dish and a plate, a cup, spoon, knife, and a cloth.
All right, thank you. And can you further explain on to the next question, the detergents used for those different materials?
The Axion was used to wash the dish, cup, and spoon, and the knife, and the bleach, and together with the dishwasher. And the bleach was used to wash the cloth since it had a lot of stains, so they used bleach and cleaner.
All right, thank you, Michelle, for your answer. Number 3, type of base found in the detergent. We will leave that question out, and you will take that question for homework. And this is what you will have to do. Look at the type of ingredients that are used to make a particular type of substance. For example, a shampoo. If you have one, you look at the ingredients and try to find out what kind of base or the type of base that is used to make that detergent. So number 3, we'll leave that out for homework. We go on to number 4. You have to discuss and describe your findings of washing items without detergents. Let's hear from that group that did the washing. One of you in the group. What did you find out when you washed the items without detergents?
When we used only water, the utensils didn't. The utensils still contain dirt.
Okay. What do you others think of your experiences at home? Imagine you just using water and you have greasy plates and cups and spoons. Do you think the utensils will be clean? They'll be partly clean, but not as bright as what you want them to be or for them to look like. Right, so most of you should have your answers like what our friend has given us. The utensils or materials will still be dirty. Number 5, someone from another group Let's have that group there. Jacobet, if you have the answer for number 5.
The items will be clean.
All right, good. The items will be clean, and it depends on the type of detergents again. If you have a stainy cloth and you wash your cloth with only Omo, most of it will be clean, but the stubborn stains won't go away or won't be removed unless you use a bleach. All right, so your answer for number 5 should be those items would be clean. And again, like I said, depends on the type of detergents you use to clean your items. Right, class, this has brought us to the end of our lesson for today. But before we wind up, let us go through some examples of alkalis, some common alkalis and their uses. Sodium hydroxide is a base, is a strong base, and this strong base is used to make soap, washing powders, and is used for cleaning drains or drain cleaners. Potassium hydroxide is also another base. It is used for making paint removers and dyes for fabrics. Calcium hydroxide reducing the acidity of soil. Ammonium solution is used to make fertilizers and cleaning liquids. Magnesium hydroxide is used to making indigestion tablets and milk of magnesia. In our last lesson, you looked at acids. We have hydrochloric acid is produced in our stomach to digest food and kill bacteria. And when too much is produced, the tablets, indigestion tablets, which contain base, is used to dilute that acid, too much acid in your stomach. Right? Some more pictures of the types of bases that we use in our everyday life. Bases are used in homes. Bases are used in kitchens, in hotels, and elsewhere that you can think of. And don't you think that bases have a negative impact on the environment? Right? You can see that too much soapy water can also destroy the plants that are growing near the water or simply the ecosystem. Right? Farms and plantations use bases. Workshops, people at the workshops use bases as well. Bases are used in the factories. And of all the uses, at the end we get the waste product and it goes into the sea. And you can imagine what happens when it gets into the sea. Right, our summary for today's lesson. Most cleaning and washing agents contain bases. Right, our key phrase for today's lesson, uses of base. And the next lesson, adding acids to bases. Part 1, materials needed are as follows. Receiving teachers, you have your handbook with you. The materials are there listed for you to have them prepared for your students. With that, thank you class for participating in today's lesson.